Hello, listeners, followers, subscribers, or new visitors. Welcome to episode 7 of Brandon Elrich is So Gay. I want to start by telling you that if you like my content, please let me know by clicking the like button or leaving a comment. It's difficult to keep going without feedback from my audience. Um, we each see the world slightly differently. I heard a humor writer in a podcast once say that humor is subjective to a point, that some things are universally funny. She said, everybody loves fart jokes. Well, this isn't true. I know this because I don't love fart jokes. I think they're crude and kind of distasteful. I love comedians like John Mulaney, Jim Gaffigan, Matt Rife, to name a few, but other comedians have a huge following, yet I don't think they're funny. Dane Cook is very popular, but I find him extremely annoying. So, this humor writer has a publication with a large following, and because of that, I think she sees herself as an expert in humor. It's obvious to me that she has tunnel vision. Yes, we're all human, but our minds don't all work the same. In some cases in society, there's kind of a group mentality. Star Trek fans will relate to the hive mind mentality. The Borg was a race of beings who all thought as one. They all had one common goal: to assimilate all other races into their collective. I see this in our society to an extent. Certain religions and politics can sometimes exemplify this mentality. Some people identify themselves as Republicans or Democrats and will always vote for a candidate in that party no matter who they are. I don't think of myself as belonging to either party, and that's as political as I'm choosing to get in this podcast for the most part. Um, Religion can be this way too, especially in extreme cases like cults. But even normal, quote unquote, normal religions have a collective mindset to an extent. Growing up, children in religious families are taught certain things and they believe them automatically because their minds are impressionable. I grew up in a conservative Pentecostal church for, I don't know, maybe the first 10 years of my life. They believed that women shouldn't wear pants, let alone shorts. They weren't allowed to be ministers, but they could teach Sunday school classes. Drinking, smoking, homosexuality, premarital sex, these were all no-nos. Some of my family members were racist. Interracial marriage was frowned upon, though I'm not sure if it was ever formally addressed as being wrong. It was just sort of understood. I remember growing up, I believed racism was wrong. Even though my dad and a few other family members told racist jokes, I knew maybe inherently that it was wrong. Later, when I looked for evidence of the sin of interracial marriage, I realized that the Bible doesn't say anything about it being wrong. I started to wonder, what else was I taught that was inaccurate? That's around the time when I finally accepted myself as gay. I tried hiding it for a long time because I knew I wouldn't be accepted by family, friends, community, church, pretty much everyone around me. I still hold on to some conservative views. When you live for so many years being taught and influenced by trusted family members, it's hard to completely dispel those core beliefs, right or wrong. So, because of those experiences and how I believe and live my life today, I have a unique view of the world around me. I can see and understand the conservative viewpoint, but I also see the flaws in their logic and beliefs. One thing I would encourage you to do to be a more well rounded human being is to listen to other points of view. Try to see the world through someone else's eyes. You don't have to agree with them, but at least attempt to see where they're coming from. Being a gay man in a rural area, I approach situations differently than the average straight person. Let's take bars, for example. If you walk into a regular bar, you see a lot of flirting going on. Men and women with their lowered inhibitions tend to flirt and talk to each other. Now, if I walked into one of those regular bars and I saw a good looking guy, I would not go up and start flirting with him. Things like that in this area can be dangerous. Yes, it is 2025, but homophobia still exists, especially in rural conservative areas. I'm in the Bible Belt, and there are still a lot of conservative views in this area. So, no, I can't just walk up to somebody and start openly flirting or letting them know that I'm gay because it still can be dangerous. I talked to a friend of mine once, a straight male friend, and I was kind of kind of complaining, and I said, "Where do I go to meet guys?" And he immediately said, "Anywhere." Now, he wasn't thinking of things through from my perspective. He was seeing them through his own eyes. He's a good-looking guy, and yeah, he could go anywhere. He mentioned like grocery stores or what bars or whatever. Yeah, he could go up to a female he found attractive and start talking to her and maybe flirt a little bit. But he just didn't get it. He didn't understand. He didn't see it through my eyes. And I know for a lot of people, it's difficult to put themselves in someone else's position. That's why I think listening to podcasts like this and reading material from people of all walks of life can help you understand what they're going through and maybe maybe become a friend or advocate to some of those people who may have a harder time. It's really hard for me to date in this area. Um, and of course, you may be asking the $1 million question, well, why do you stay there? Well, one of the things is the living cost of living is cheaper here. I don't make a lot of money doing freelance writing, and I know it can cost a lot to rent an apartment or buy a house in metropolitan areas. I could move to like Kansas City or St. Louis, but I wouldn't be able to afford to live there. So, also, my family is here, and yes, they don't accept everything about me, but sometimes just having someone around is better than nothing. And especially if you've suffered from depression, it's hard to be completely alone. So, right now, here I am. stuck in the middle of the Midwest, the middle of misery, or Missouri. But there are a lot of good things about it. I like being out in the country. I like how quiet it is. You don't have all the noises from the city, the traffic, the sirens, um, all that noise. It's really peaceful here, and that's really nice. But the drawbacks, as I said, it's hard to meet people, it's hard to date, it's hard to be part of a social community. So for now, I'm just stuck here. Hopefully you can have a little better idea of what some people go through, like myself. If you have any questions or comments for me, I'd love to hear them. Also, I only make money through my blogs and freelance writing, so if you like my content, please become a paid subscriber. You can do it for as little as $2 a month. I have that set up. There should be a link to subscription options in the podcast notes. Every little bit helps. I'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions. But until next time, say goodbye, Zach.